My name is Marissa Brown, and this is Artifact 12, Standard 7.2, AC Criterion 24. Use assessment data to inform and guide instruction based on individual students' needs. I use technology based formative and summative assessments that I designed, implemented, and analyzed for my 8th grade physical science students to guide and individualize instructional planning. I created an assessment around our second semester unit on matter in the periodic table. AKS 1 or Standard 1 was obtain, evaluate, and communicate information from the periodic table to explain the relative properties of elements based on patterns of atomic structure. This unit had 3 elements within it. However, our formative assessment focused on elements A and B, and we did element C at a later time. Students learned about atoms, ions, and isotopes in the periodic table through multimodal resources such as stations and scavenger hunts, interactive simulations where they built models on PhET. They built models in the classroom using magnets and other tools, as well as slide deck presentations, WebQuest readings, and videos. Some of the formative assessments that I utilized were quizzes and Google Forms. They both give me real-time data, which I can provide whole class reteach opportunities or identify students who need small group interventions. These assessments help me to form my next steps. For summative assessment, Gwinnett County Public Schools utilizes Edulastic platform. On Edulastic, teachers can co-create assessments or create individualized assessments with their department members to see data collected from the assessment. Some of the things that I could utilize was see the overall class data averages. I could also look at specific questions and see how students did, and I can also look at specific questions attempts. Looking at the insight, I noticed specific questions and standards, and I used the data to pinpoint which students needed small group interventions and which students could benefit from extension activities. This way, I provide all learners with learning opportunities that meet their needs. I reviewed the data and I made some post assessment changes to my instruction. I decided to incorporate more visuals, audio, interactive simulations, and modeling since Element A, which was develop and use models to compare and contrast the structure of atoms, ions, and isotopes, was where students seemed to be struggling the most, as well as implement more peer coaching and more opportunities for collaboration. The use of graphic organizers into my instruction based on the data I collected in the summative assessment. Artifact 12 proves as evidence that I use technology to design and implement a variety of formative and summative assessments that accommodate learners' needs, provided timely feedback to students, and informed instruction. My name is Marissa Brown, and this is Artifact 12, Standard 7.3, ISTE Criterion 25, provide opportunities for students to reflect on their learning data. Students are given access to their formative assessments. I utilized Google Forms, and I could provide feedback to individual students or provide instant feedback by showing the class how they performed as a whole. Quizzes often show students the questions they missed or marked as incorrect. Students also provided me a way to email parents students' progress. I would share my forms or download the quizzes results with my co-teacher in order to help me and them identify the students we thought needed small group based on data. As a feature I enjoyed for on our district CFAs or common formative assessments through Synergy was the reports I would print out for students. It identified students' proficiencies and also non-proficiencies within that assessment, which helps students to set goals prior to our summative assessments. Edulastic provided students with trends on standards and showed them their proficiencies and deficiencies as well. The orange bands in the top picture meant the student needed to reteach in that specific standard. The blue band suggested review, and the green meant mastery. Students completed assessment reflection where they included their scores from their pretest and write a goal for their post-test. Then include their post-test scores. Students wrote whether or not they met their goal, which AKS they mastered, and which one they did not in their pre and post test, as well as think of what they needed to do in order to be successful or remain successful. Artifact 12 proves as evidence that I used assessment data to guide progress and communicate with students, parents, and education stakeholders to build student self direction.